Hi, welcome to Cubs and Culture for March 7th, I believe, 2018. Cubs won today, 11-6 against the Cleveland Indians, and I basically want to talk about them for a moment. One of the things about the Cleveland Indians that kind of made the World Series sort of special is they've also had sort of a Cubbish history. In that they haven't won since 1948. In the 90s, they made the World Series a couple of times, won the pennant, and then lost the World Series to the Braves and the Marlins in 95 and 96. I'm sorry, 97, I believe. And so because of this, one of the reasons why the 2016 World Series, I think, is sort of like aesthetically perfect, not like, and this isn't me being a Cubs fan, if the Cubs would have lost Game 7, it would have been sort of aesthetically perfect as a tragedy. Now it's sort of aesthetically perfect as a celebration, or however you want to put the point. And the reason for that is there's a lot. So, like, one of the things why I like baseball, because there's so much baseball. And because the postseason is on random, you get a lot of very interesting sort of like storylines and sort of cultural things. So the thing about these two teams, one of my favorite articles of all time talks about this. They're two Midwestern teams. They've been terrible for years. They're finally in the championship series, and it happens to be going through happened during one of the worst elections in U.S. history, just in terms of how polarizing they are. And that luck would have it, Ohio was red in 2016, and Illinois was blue. But then you also get the irony of like the Ricketts being Republicans, and then actually the Cleveland Indians owners being somewhat progressive, etc. And so one of the most sort of touching things that Joe Madden said at the end of the World Series, I think he even said it during the locker room celebration, hey, don't remember, the Cleveland Indians are good. And so, like, one of the things I really like about how pernicious and random and humbling baseball can be is, like, even no matter how full of yourself you are, baseball will remind you you're just a human being. And I have another example of this in a second, but that's really so. Like, I really feel a kindred spirit with the Indians, and I'm wondering if they keep going, having a drought like this. They're at like 70 years. They're in like year 5 of a 5-year competitive window. So maybe they'll make it next year. I'm wondering if the sort of mystique around the Cubs, because there's multiple films and books and TV shows that all make jokes about the Cubs not winning the World Series. I mean, you have the Rookie of the Year, etc. I mean, the Cleveland Indians had the Major League Series, but that was more about them being terrible, which was kind of ironic because they weren't terrible in the 90s. In any case, so I've always been wondering if whether or not the Indians ultimately won the 2016 series, because they're going to become this great underdog team that everybody loves because they haven't won in a long time. I'm not really sure. Okay, anyway, other quick little lore thing about being humbled is in 2015, Matt Harvey, the fucking idiot, tried to pitch a complete game when he was facing the Royals, and that Royals team was known for coming back in the 9th inning. He was only up by 2. And Terry Collins, who again is sort of vaguely incompetent, says to him, hey, you're not going back out there. And he says on camera, no way are you taking me out of this game. Well, he faces 2 batters, something like that, and he ends up giving up the tying runs, and they end up getting eliminated and losing the World Series. So, like, pride comes before the fall, man. And, like, I'm sure that happens in other sports, but that sort of random, pernicious things sort of happen all the time in baseball. Or, like, Clayton Kershaw best regular season pitcher, but he can't pitch. Can't protect 7 fucking runs in Game 5 of the World Series. Anyway, I'm tired and cold, so that's gonna be it for Cubs and Culture tonight. See you tomorrow. Out.